Welcome to Human Potential at Work, the show where we explore social impact, inclusion, and empowerment of everyone, including persons with disabilities. Get ready to be inspired, hear success stories, and learn tips and principles for bringing out the best in everyone.
Hello, everyone. This is Debra, and this is Human Potential at Work. I love doing these shows and I love all my guests, but I am a little tiny starstruck about my guest today. It's somebody who I've been following his career for a long time, and he's got a very interesting career. And so his name is Garrett, and he's being joined by his father, Mitch, and we're going to talk more about what they do. But as a reminder, I am the CEO of Rue Global Communications, and we focus on the inclusion of people with disabilities, the sustainable development goals. We're brand ambassadors, market influencers, and strategists for the community of people with disabilities. And we believe the world works better when people can have their own voice and contribute to society, which is what this show's all about. So let's meet our guests. So Garrett and Mitch, welcome to the program.
Hi, Debra. How are you?
Hi. So let's start by talking about who y'all are. So maybe, Mitch, if you want to start and then let Garrett talk a little bit about who he is, that would be great.
Awesome. So my name's Mitch Holeve. I'm Garrett's dad. I'm also the co-founder of Garrett's Fight Foundation. I also happen to be a strength and conditioning coach. And this is Garrett. We like to call him G-Money.
Hi.
Hey, Garrett. G-Money. That's a cool name.
Yep.
And Garrett, I'm a little jealous of when I watch all of the videos that y'all post on social media and I saw your abs. I was like, wow, I want abs like that. But I've been lazy and I haven't been doing my stomach exercises. But I was very impressed with how much you're working out and taking care of your body. Very exciting.
It's about like staying in shape, and it's about you eat right foods, like proteins and some greens. That's it. Being part of your diet.
And those are good tips for people in January, too, because a lot of people make their New Year's resolutions. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to take care of myself. And then by about February or March, we forget that we were supposed to be doing that. So I think we can learn a lot from your walk. But let's talk a little bit about Garrett's fight, and Mitch, maybe you don't mind giving the audience a little bit, telling us about the story of Garrett's fight.
Well, Garrett's fight actually started with Garrett. When he started to graduate high school and started to get involved in fitness and mixed martial arts outside of school. Through the younger years, we can find places for the kids to have activities, but as they get into 17, 18, 19-year-olds, just like other mature adults, there was very limited opportunities for him to participate in sports or fitness. So me being a little stubborn, we went ahead and pursued that, especially considering, what my background in fitness and everything. So G started training with me when he was 18. And at about 21, I guess he started mixed martial arts. And I think that the combination of the two showed me what fitness could do for Garrett, not just physically fitness and getting his functionality better, but the social aspects of going to the gym, interacting with people on a regular basis. So my wife, Garrett, and myself, we really saw the value in that. And that's really what started us on the journey to find the foundation. And at this point, what we do is that we train individuals with all kinds of disabilities in functional fitness. And that's really what Garrett's Fight's all about. Also providing opportunities like Garrett's had for competitions. We had a fight for Garrett's right to enter the MMA cage. So we know how important it is for anybody to get the opportunities, and we're willing to join them in their fight anytime they don't get the opportunity.
So, Mitch, tell us a little bit more, because that's when Garrett got on my radar. I started seeing there was a fighter that was very talented with Down syndrome, and he wanted to, enter the ring, and he really wanted to, show what he was capable of doing. But he was actually not allowed to join for a while because he had Down syndrome. And so that struck a chord with me. And at the same time, I was thinking about it from a sort of a bullying perspective. And we're told as society that we need to be nice to people with disabilities. And here's Garrett, a fighter that's going to get in the ring. So it was an interesting perspective that I hadn't thought of.
Yeah, it was an interesting, I guess, dichotomy. Garrett never felt that way, which was the most important thing to me as a parent. Because he felt like he belonged there. He felt for a long time that he belonged as a fighter. Would that be correct? You would be a fighter?
I am a fighter, so
Right.
So it's what you do, Garrett. So it's like, I am a fighter. I want to get in the ring. I've gotten in shape. I've done my stomach. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to, my stomach exercises, my fitness. I'm ready to get in the ring and fight. It's what I want to do. And at the time he was told no.
Correct. And that's, you picked up an important point too, is because it wasn't like he jumped into this.
Right.
He trained for a long time. So yeah, even for myself, it was interesting because I see both sides of it. So I see who wants to beat him in an MMA fight and who wants to lose to him in an MMA fight.
Good point.
Right.
Good points.
But for us, it always came down to, guess what? Who wants to win a fight and who wants to lose a fight?
Right.
We don't care about the label because he's done everything to earn the label as a fighter. And that's what he was trying to achieve. He wasn't trying to achieve the label of somebody with Down syndrome. He was born with that. And I think more than anything else for Garrett, one of the reasons he doesn't love talking about this is because of the reason of the label. And we had to fight to remove that label. So yeah, it's hard to ask somebody to go in the cage and punch them. But I will tell you, as I see every day in practice, that if you underestimate training, sorry, you're right, in training, you're correct. In training, don't underestimate him and he will come after you. So you better defend yourself, and it's for real. So I think that I found that in Garrett right away. Not training as a coach, not training athletes with different abilities before. I have to be honest and say that was kind of a revelation for me, in saying, hey, look how automatically the playing field got leveled when we're not segregating our populations and we're giving them the opportunity to join and play our games.
Right, right. And isn't that truly what inclusion is? So here is Garrett. He's doing all the right things. He's training, he's working hard, he's eating right, he's doing everything he wants to. And so you get in the ring with him, and if you're not paying attention, he's definitely going to take you down as a fighter, because this is what he does, and he's really a good fighter, and he's practiced at it. So those labels have to fall away. So maybe I'm a fighter, and at first I'm intimidated. I don't want him to beat me. But by the way, I probably don't want any fighter to beat me. So it's very, very interesting. And really makes you think about the word inclusion, because Garrett is probably many, many, many things. He's a coach. He eats right. He's a trainer. He's so many things other than just one label, that he doesn't want that one label defining him. And I have a daughter with that extra chromosome, and she's the same way. She actually gets aggravated with me when I introduce her as somebody with Down syndrome, because she feels she is so much more than that. And she doesn't want to be labeled. She actually used the normal word with me. Mom, I'm normal. I'm more normal. Leave me alone. I'm normal. I don't want to be your superstar. I'm just an individual with a whole lot of moving parts. And I think the Garrett and the Sarahs of the world teach all of us a lot. But I was just very interested in, what y'all are doing. And it's more than just Garrett being in the ring fighting. You've now taken this to much more, and Garrett's actually training other people. And I do want to say, behind you on your wall, I see a belt, multiple belts. I see a picture of Garrett. I see Zappos Adaptive, and we love Zappos, and we love how they're supporting our community. But maybe, Garrett, you could talk to us a little bit about how do you feel being in the ring and fighting? And I want to use the right terminology. Would it be boxing?
It's called MMA.
Okay.
It's called. I've been training for 6 years at that point, and I'll be going to my training camp. It's called Rock MMA, and like that. But I'm going there tonight. That point, I just staying in shape. That's how I've been. That's how I do.
Right, it's who you are. Now tell me, what does MMA mean?
Can you explain that?
Mixed martial arts.
Okay. All right.
What it's called?
And what's mixed martial arts made up of?
It's about
What's the different things you do?
increasing.
Box? Do you jiu-jitsu?
It's about jiu-jitsu, boxing, wrestling, and kickboxing.
It's all the combat sports mixed into one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So mixed martial arts is all the combat sports, combat defenses, the martial arts, boxing, wrestling, into one, where you train them all together or at various times.
And so it takes a lot to get in that ring. A lot of preparation to get in that ring. I think I would be afraid to get in the ring. I wouldn't want somebody to hit me. So, and then I imagine Garrett, who is a coach, would say to me, well, if you're preparing, Debra, and you're keeping your eyes to your hand, I mean, there's things that you need to learn to do, right?
If you were a first-time fighter, what would you suggest them do? If I was a first-time guy, what would you tell me to do to get started?
Okay.
No, I'm asking you. Let's talk. You're being shy today.
I'm not
Okay.
shy.
Okay.
He's a fighter. He doesn't want to be doing these boring interviews. But we love your story, Garrett. We love your story, because to do MMA, it takes a lot of work to get in that ring. It takes a lot of work. It's not about that one fight. It's about everything you had to do to get there, correct?
That's a good answer. What I do, it defines me.
What you do defines you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that, Garrett. I love it. And you want to be defined as a fighter, an MMA, fighter. And that's okay. I mean, we all like to be defined by certain things. And you don't want to be defined by just one aspect of who you are.
I know that Garrett feels that way. He just this whole conversation about inclusion and everything else, not a favorite topic. I'm sure you see it as a parent with Sarah. I will tell you that at the end of this conversation, the conversation with Garrett is, why do we have to throw those other things into it? Let's talk about the kids that we train, and let's talk about my last fight, because I choked the guy out and it was really good. So
In that first round.
in the first round, you choked.
Wow. So what does that mean, Garrett? What does it mean, choking a guy out? It sounds scary to me.
That's a submission.
Submit.
Submission.
And after
So what's the actual choke? What do you have to do to choke somebody? Do you want to show
it's gonna come here.
them? Yeah. So if you had my head here,
Yeah, show us.
If I could do it this way.
let me take my hat off.
Okay.
Go here and
Okay.
I love it, Garrett. So,
after I won, I saw Pops hugging my coach.
Hugging your coach.
Yeah.
We were excited. Well, when you win in like 70 seconds, that's a pretty big deal, right?
yes, that's amazing.
Yeah. And I thought Carl was going to kiss you.
Carl was going to kick his coach, Carl. We were pretty excited because a fighter trains a long time and the coaches are there and you have a very little time to perform versus the time that you train.
Right.
And when everything comes together perfect, it even makes it that much better. And considering it was his third fight and everything else, it was really exciting because you could finally see all the pieces come together where the game plan worked. He was in shape. We were experienced enough at it that we didn't have any hitches. It wasn't like the first time where the state wanted to shut us down and wouldn't let him fight. We knew it was going to go on. Sorry. I can't. So yeah, that was great. And I think he enjoyed it.
And that's when I got this belt here.
Wow, that is such a cool belt too.
I made my guy retired, so
You made your opponent retire after the fight, huh?
yeah.
Good for you, Garrett. Good for you.
Anyways, he just left the octagon.
He left the octagon after you got your hand raised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so exciting. What's the other belt that's behind your dad's head?
They just that's my second fight I did.
That was actually your first fight.
Years ago, but I don't.
That belt's from Fighting for Autism.
Oh,
which
cool.
Is the second largest autism support organization in the world.
Brian Higginbotham.
Big shout out to Brian Higginbotham and Fighting for Autism, not only for the work that they do in the community, but also because Brian and Fighting for Autism are responsible for Garrett's first fight. If it wasn't for them and for Brian, because he's in Fighting for Autism's platform is MMA, is boxing, pro wrestling, the analogy of fighting for autism. So they bring that to life. They have some great services that they do also. So Brian was a fixture in MMA in Missouri, and Fighting for Autism in North America is based there. And Brian got it done where Garrett was able to fight. And that's where he earned the belt, because that's where the belt's from. I'm proud of that belt.
Came out too.
And who?
My brothers came out too.
Yeah, everybody came out for that fight.
I was surprised to see him there.
It was everybody. It was a surprise. I had his two brothers come out and meet us in St. Louis. He didn't know.
Oh, how fun!
Yeah, it was a marvelous experience.
So, Garrett, how long do you have to train for these fights?
Like before the fights.
How many weeks is training camp?
Every day.
How many weeks is it? 8 weeks, 10 weeks? What do you usually do?
I just 12 day.
About 10 weeks.
12 day.
A training camp for Garrett is about 10 weeks. A typical camp is 8 weeks. The good news is that Garrett's in the gym every day, correct?
Wow.
Yeah, because that's my job.
That's his job.
See, and that's what a fighter's job is. A fighter is to get in shape. Hey, Garrett, could I ask you to show me your muscles?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm jealous. Wow. That's great. And I know I've seen you're really good about posting videos of you not only training and working out yourself, but coaching other people. at the same time, can we talk a little bit about you as a coach and some of your peers that you're coaching and training and getting ready? I know that your dad has actually talked to me about helping my daughter Sarah get in better shape. I mean, Sarah got sick and had to have an operation, so she's healing now. But after that, we want to get in good shape. So tell us more about what you're doing with that, helping others get in better shape.
Kids when you work with, and we do like Friday and Sunday.
Okay.
And they would teach Mia, David, us as the kids. That point, but we show them what the exercise. That point,
The exercises. What are some of the exercises we do?
The workouts.
Right.
That point, they just come out that point, and I just help them out best I can.
You help them out the best you can.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy doing that?
I do.
Garrett, are you training them all to be fighters, or are you training them to be in better shape? Because probably they're like everybody else. They all probably have different fitness goals, right?
I just train them exactly, get them into shape. If you want to stay in shape, you buy the salads and the fruit that point, and they just drink Aquafina water.
Oh, okay. We're going to do some brands. So,
Yeah.
Aquafin water.
That's how you just stay in the perfect shape like me right now. And sometimes I just treat myself some pepper chicken that night.
So you try to teach them to eat right?
Yeah, I sometimes I eat that stuff for a treat.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Do you try to teach the kids how to eat right too when we coach them?
I very don't say to eat right, but you do.
Yeah, I think that's probably my job.
We have an app. It's got MyFitnessPal.
No. How about it's called Team Builder. Can I talk about the app?
Can I please shut your crap?
Don't make him take you down, Mitch.
I know.
I saw the muscles.
We have an app. It's got MyFitnessPal. But you do is you add the foods right to the app, and you just track your food that way.
Okay. All right. And a lot of people use apps to try to help them stay in shape. So so they put down what they're doing, what they're eating. And I know your dad can expand upon that a little bit more.
Yeah. So we actually have an app that we teamed up with Team Builder and also the guys at Brute Strength.
That's how me watches those videos to help me out.
Help you. So we have an app. It started with Brute Strength because we used it for Garrett and his training. And it's basically an online training platform. We see apps all the time now. Kudos to Brute because they're the best in the business. They train some of the top level CrossFit athletes, and they really wanted to train Garrett. And we started to use the app, and within the app, they have videos of Olympic lifting. So it was a good teaching tool for us because he's a visual learner. After about using that for 9 months, we talked with Brute and the guys at Team Builder, which is the app platform that we use, about the possibility of developing an app that can help our foundation with the fitness. You know, how can we use that app? Like you said, there's always an app for everything today.
Right.
Even if it's useless, you have to have an app. We hope that it's useful. So we wanted, for me, it was really the visual learning. I've seen so much with their adaptive athletes that visual learning is really important.
Yes.
Even at a young age, we see them watch videos on TV and interpret and imitate the dance. So we kind of, Matt Bruce, who was from Brute Strength, was a ESE PE teacher. And in our conversations, we really felt that there was value in having videos of us doing videos, using myself and Garrett and showing adaptive athletes and their parents what they can accomplish just in their home. We know that with even typical people, you can't force people to work out. So what we try to do is provide all the tools, whether it's an app, videos, online training. We're now getting into training other coaches so we can have programs in other places. And it's really about giving that opportunity. And the app's really been a big tool. Garrett tracks all of his workouts, his food. And again, it goes back to removing the label, because if I was training a typical athlete, these would be all the things that we would be doing. We would be tracking their workouts and their weights and their eating habits. Maybe Garrett and I do it together on the app, but guess what? If he was my athlete, I would be looking at what he's doing even after he entered it. So
that's how I could this.
Oh my! So there's those abs. Yeah, I love that good shape you're in, Garrett.
I've been working on the abs this week. I'm doing this competition this weekend. It's called Wadapalooza.
Can I say that again? Because it's hard. Wadapalooza.
Okay, that is a hard word.
Yes.
And it's at Miami, out of town. And like that, my mom is coming too.
So it's a big.
And my brother's coming on the.
Wow. So your family really supports you, Garrett.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice opportunity for Garrett. It's a big fitness competition, a CrossFit competition. And we have Garrett on Saturday, and then Garrett and another athlete on Sunday. We'll be doing a demo with the entire Brute Strength coaching staff and some of their athletes. So once again, Adrian and the crew. So, once again, and they're great. I'll be watching. But they're going to be up there with typical people, and that's what we want the people out in the audience to see, not a label. But guess what? We're all lifting weights. We're all working out. And for us, one of the things that we just found too, and I think it's just important on the other side, from a parent side, I want other parents to know that they don't have to be afraid, that they can have somebody that participates, whether it's fitness, MMA, I wouldn't suggest, but if it happens, but I just think seeing somebody else doing it and then maybe coaching them a little bit, saying, yeah, you have to make some adaptations and you're going to have to change some ways that we do things. But that's no different with anybody else. And that's why we like to go out in the community and get to do those things, because it's important.
Well, let's talk for a minute about the foundation, because one thing that I've been watching, I follow you on Facebook and I follow you guys on Twitter, and you're always posting videos, and I see the athletes working and they're doing things that I perceive as hard. I mean, I'm a big Zumba fan. I'm a big exerciser, but I see them doing things like, the stomach exercises, and it looks like you're picking up medicine balls, and you had mentioned functional training before, Mitch. And so I think it's very interesting that you're taking it to, why don't you explain a little bit about what functional training is?
Functional fitness training are exercises that are designed to help our bodies perform our normal activities throughout the day. Sitting, standing, reaching, pulling. Those are things that squatting,
Squats.
Getting up and down is a squat. Here's the tip for the day.
Here.
Well, I don't know if they'll see it there.
Hello.
What? Go ahead.
Golly, this reminds me of me and my daughter for sure.
Oh, I'm squatting.
Yes.
So as you can see, he's
All
gonna.
right.
He's a coach. So there, for anybody that doubted it, you can see that G can coach, which is great.
Good, David.
Thank you. So, am I good?
Yeah.
Did I do?
Was he watching his knees, making sure his knees didn't go over his toes, and because form matters, right? Because that's when we get hurt, when we don't follow good form.
Hey, I don't want to be rude. I was in the some lunch. Is it okay? Can I go?
You can go, Garrett, if you want. And what we can do, if you'll just say goodbye to our audience, and then we'll get your dad to tell us how to follow you. And we know you're a professional fighter. You don't have time for an interview. But I would ask you one thing, Garrett, before you leave. Garrett, tell us about the Zappos adaptive T-shirt that's behind you. Do you mind just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Zappos is a company. Zappos give me like shoes with zipper. And then you go, but you open it from right here.
Okay.
With beaten, and you just push it back up. That's right.
The Nike Zip Fly shoes.
Wow. Yeah, we love Nike's work too. And I know Zappos is going to have a Runway of Dreams show with Runway of Dreams in Las Vegas. So very exciting to see Zappos they've been doing wonderful work. So I know they're very supportive. So I'm really glad that you have them. But Garrett, seriously, if you want to go, we can finish up the interview with your dad.
Okay.
As we said, eating is important. So G tries to stay on schedule.
Yes, and we understand that.
It pops us stuff for you. So
well, we're gonna finish up and go train. Yes. Go eat.
Go eat. We'll talk to you soon, Garrett. Thank you.
All right.
We can only keep the star here so long. So, Mitch, tell us about the foundation. Where is it operating? Where is it going? How do we find out about it? And social media. I mentioned that you're on social media and I'm following you, but tell us about the foundation, where you're going from here, and how people can find out more about the work. And also, I know you're always looking for corporate sponsors to sponsor what you are doing and help other athletes. So let's just, now that we've lost our star athlete, let's talk.
Yeah, he loves to talk about it. He loves to do it. Garrett's not a talker, he's a doer. So, and I'm a talker, so we make a good tandem. So where's our foundation going? We want to train as many athletes as possible and provide those opportunities. And in order to do that, we started about 18 months ago to figure this thing out. And I think that was the first thing. Just like with Garrett, we had to figure it out because unfortunately we can't clone Garrett and myself. And as people have said to us, we're a unique combination, being a parent and a coach, and then an athlete and an adaptive athlete. It's just a weird mix that somehow works in the laboratory, as I like to call it, because Garrett and I have practiced and tried things that people wouldn't believe just to get him to perform the way that he could, or to adapt an exercise, and I will tell you, jiu-jitsu led to this, is adapting jiu-jitsu. So where the foundation is now, we're in the process of looking for coaches first and foremost. And when I say coaches, it doesn't have to be people involved in fitness. So number one, if you're somebody that wants to help and you like fitness and maybe you train yourself and you would like to help individuals with disabilities and intellectual disabilities, we can train them. We can train you because of technology. You know, everybody has online courses, so we have videos. We're going to do one-on-one training. We've done some one-on-one training with people already. So the one thing that we're really focused on right now is finding coaches that want to give up maybe an hour of their time every week, or, you know, a half an hour 3 times a week. We know that the athletes are out there. I have no problem. Every day I go to my email and I get another email from a mom or a dad that wants some help getting their kid healthy. And that's really what it comes from.
I agree. And Mitch, the reality is many people with disabilities, especially looking at it from intellectual disabilities, like my daughter with Down syndrome, she really has struggled with her weight. And I also have been somebody that's fought with my weight over the years, but she has, you know, she has lower muscle tone than I do. I mean, there's some things associated with the syndrome that actually make Sarah gain weight faster than other people. And I know that there have been actually cases of gyms not letting people with Down syndrome work out. I mean, this is a huge problem. And knowing where we can, you know, where can we go to make sure, you know, our family members stay healthy. And I know you've given me some wonderful tips. My daughter Sarah was gaining weight, and all of a sudden she put on 25 pounds in 6 months, and I didn't understand what was happening. It turned out that it was leading up to this surgery that she wound up having. But when I went to the doctors to say to the doctors, I don't know what, something is wrong. I don't know what's wrong. And they're like, yeah, people with Down syndrome gain weight. And they were a little bit, and what wound up happening was confusing to everyone, including the doctors. But I think often people just say, yeah, people with Down syndrome are overweight. I think that's why your story is so unique. And Garrett, you know, looking at his muscles and what he can do. And so there's a lot to this story. And I think that's why I'm so excited about what you're doing. So I just wanted to throw those in there with you as well. We don't have the same opportunities.
No, we don't. And that's something that we learned early on. But the funny thing is that I'm a little stubborn. And even today I hear when I get a call from a parent and they have a newborn, and I know the issues. I mean, I've lived them. But I've also learned that low muscle tone may be something you're born with. I don't know any babies that are born with 6-packs. I really don't. So I don't care who you are, you have to put in the work. So that's something that I knew as a coach. Okay. Unfortunately, like you said, where do I put in the work if I have a disability?
Right.
And especially where do I put in the work if I have an intellectual disability, where maybe my communication with other people, you know, is not typical, but doesn't mean I can't exercise. And just like you said, I remember walking into a what I'll call a Globo gym, because I don't want to call anybody out, but it was just interesting in the look and the perception that people have when I walk in the gym with my son and we start training.
Right.
It's interesting. Just same thing today when we're at CrossFit Showdown training with our class, and right next to us is the typical class, and then there'll be a new person coming in, and I always enjoy seeing them look at our athletes train. And I have told many of the gym owners that work with us that when you bring in one of our athletes, it's going to elevate the performance of your athletes, and your community is going to elevate. And that's really what they bring to the gym that everybody missed out on. Everybody, you know, missed out on that part of it is how they help bring a sense of community together, and they really enjoy that. I mean, my kids love being there. So that's also part of our foundation. I think that brings a core principle when my wife and I started. When Garrett was born, inclusion, inclusion, inclusion. You graduate school. Okay, where do you go? Maybe there's, so it was all about inclusion. And we just happened to found the space that it really, really works in. I think that that's important.
I'm going to do a shout out for my gym. We are part of American Family Fitness, which is in Virginia, and they have always included us. Sarah has been able to get personal trainers that understood the syndrome, and they've just always included our family. But unfortunately, many of the gyms and the big fitness organizations do not include us in a really meaningful way. If we are included, we're not really included. So I like that my gym actually employs people with disabilities. They have a young woman very qualified to do the job with Down syndrome at the front desk. And so we really feel like we're included in this, but boy, there's a lot of work to do. So let's let everybody know how to get hold of you. So once again, if you are a parent, if you're an individual with a disability, if you're a corporate brand that wants to get behind something really important, there are all kind of opportunities. I'm hoping that we can get this, get Mitch and Garrett here into Richmond and helping. I selfishly want my daughter to be part of this. And so you're in multiple places, but tell everybody how to find out more about what you're doing.
Okay, first of all, in order to find out about us, the easiest place to go is our website, which is Garrett's, and Garrett is GARRETTS, fightfoundation.org. You can always find us under Garrett's Fight on Twitter, Garrett's Fight on Facebook, Garrett's Fight on Instagram. So it's easy to find us under Garrett's Fight. What I would like to ask, what we're looking for is coaches. We would also love to be able to find some gyms. As you mentioned, it would be great to find some gyms. Maybe some of the Globo gyms would be interested in opening up their doors. We can certainly support that. So that would be the biggest win. Corporate sponsors would be great. We're going to St. Louis twice this year to a couple conferences to teach people. So that helps us just go teach other people. We have some great sponsors now, Zappos Adaptive.
Love Zappos. Love Zappos.
Zappos is great. Wonderful company doing great things in the adaptive world. Also shout out to Inspire. Inspire socks. They're wonderful. You always got a nice, and this is one of my favorites because in the back they always have the believe or a nice saying in the back. And John and the guys at Inspire have been great. We think that we work well with the corporate sponsors too. Garrett's great with it. He loves it. So again, if anybody wants to help out, you can reach us at garrettsfightfoundation.org. If you want to reach me direct, it's Mitch at garrettsfightfoundation.org. Moms, dads, athletes, let us know. We're here to help you.
Yes. And, we've just started. So this is very exciting to see where this is going to go. And we were really blessed to have Garrett the fighter on the program. And I don't know, I think what you're doing is really powerful. So very honored to have you on the show today and very honored to get to meet Garrett. And I hope to get to see him fight in person one day too. So thank you, Mitch, and thanks to Garrett. And thanks to my audience today. And we look forward to seeing everybody again. And we'll have Garrett and Mitch come back on in the future as they continue to conquer the world. So thank you so much today. Bye, everyone.